For our people, it's important to identify loopholes. There's a lot of loopholes in governance. A majority of us always just attack the government because it's an easy target, but but within ourselves as a people, general public, the communities, there's a lot of loopholes. Those loopholes can be of letting crime go by, letting petty things that are just detrimental to the society, to the people, to the youth, to the children go by. So if we stop being role models to our people, then we see a lot of problems. So as adults, we have to act like it. I was once a child, and now at 37, in a few days, I can't say that, I grew up like that with nothing, so I have to just keep on crying for someone to give me something. I've got nieces and nephews now who are grown. They'll be coming to the university, I think, in the next year or two. So in life, you have to sometimes swallow pain to then rise and work for a people. So documenting the people will be important, especially if the people were part of a structure of a people that was documented. Finding ways to do it the right way is of course the way. And people, of course, understanding how to go about systems, not fighting systems that can make your life better. It's just a matter of reasoning, cooperation, and proper communication. So, identifying the diasporan people is important, and also in what they do. Because what are these people doing? Because from what they're doing, we can have a whole different structure of things, businesses, and if we don't have people who are documented, it's a problem. And talking of documentation, actually States South Africa this year around chose my house. They wanted to come and speak to me. So there's a day when they came. It's already, I think, a few months ago now, about maybe 4 months already. Yeah. So they came. My neighbor, she called me, and she said, "Look, the people from the government, they wanted to see you." So I'm like, okay. Then I checked on my phone, on the camera. Then I saw there was a car. And I said, "But I'm in Somerset, so can you just ask them what it's about?" I said, "Nah, they're from the States, so they wanted to speak to you, so when are you going to be available?" So I said, "Nah, they can come tomorrow anytime, from this time to this time I'm around." So it so happens that the fella came back, you're a bit scared, like, what, is the government after me? So I sat down with the fella, of course, good gentleman. Of course, I asked to see credentials. He showed me credentials, and before he came, I actually did my research to understand, of course, what the States SA do, what do they do. So it's important for people to understand actually being documented is important. So anyway, so we spoke with the fella. There was a bunch of questions that they asked, nothing personal, nothing to do with even, I think, your permit in that state. It's like they want to just know, okay, who are you, what's your situation like, can you afford, do you have a car, do you have this, do you have that, so that when the system, when the country, you have to actually allocate things as that is being mentioned. It's important to actually know, okay, who stays in Stellenbosch, how many people actually are in Stellenbosch. So you find that actually States SA is important because I asked the fellow, so did you go to all these houses? He said, nah, we don't have to. It's like, it's states SA chooses like in a certain demographic of people, like, okay, go and speak to those people, go and speak to those people, go and speak to that house. So, I took that as a good thing, like, it's always nice knowing that we are in compliance from all, whether it's the bank, whether it's our company profiles, whether it's just me as an individual, contributions to the country. It's very important to know that we're moving together. So documentation then remains one of the most important things. Structure the goals of those who are maybe visionless. Yeah, the so-called poor, the one who want to put themselves in a poor structure. So their goals is to be structured, group them, so that we can find success. So it's important to do that because most of these Zimbabwean diasporas, they've got a lot of skill and talent that we can convert to not only help, of course, Mzansi as it's been doing, but to actually help Zimbabwe and other African countries. So we, South Africa, as a hub, we can actually be major in business. So I think a lot of us think about feelings. We don't look at economics in that manner, but I just look at us strengthening this South Africa, making it bigger than many people thought it can actually be. And in doing so, we make all other African countries great. So create or use existing systems to merge business functions. So meaning if you're not happy with a job, if you've got a job, you create a structure that helps you earn a living, to a point that you can actually get passive income. Because for a man or for anybody, you want some passive income, that's when you work really hard, Don't rush for fast money. That's really something else. So so-called poor people. In Zimbabwe, as I said before, they've got land. Our people here, they've got the so-called poor. They've got land. Small-scale farming, legit. Combine, take the conversation from the club to a different space. Take the conversation from drinking to a different space. Take the conversation from unnecessary parties to a different space. Know that your friends are helping you, equipping you to becoming the best version of you. Create these goals from those businesses. Create a major ethics structure of business flow between Zimbabwe and South Africa, of course. And people have to be willing. You can't create these business structures and do all this and people are not willing to work. So people have to be willing to work for us to see these changes, So we have to be accountable. If no one wants to be accountable, people just want to misuse, lose it, demand. But then there's no accountability of any sort. Man. You're living life wrong. You must ask yourself. Anybody, doesn't matter who you are. When you demand whatever it is you're demanding, who are you demanding it from? So working out a plan and understanding how things actually are to elevate is most important. So migrants and locals should create a more business flow to create massive businesses and structures which can benefit all our African countries. So if we look at since the beginning of the year, people toying, people looting, vandalizing, these groups moving around here, terrorizing people. At the end of the day, ask yourself, if people put so much time to actually coming up with a plan, you would be somewhere right now in life, no lie. The time I actually took to create a few videos in the past 3-4 months, I actually got distracted. I was not properly working here because see my people suffering too much. All of you are my people. I go in the hood, people are suffering. I see on the news people fighting each other here and there. It's like, why, man? You know, we are all born to work for each other and help each other, you know, work out our miseries, our darkness, bring the light. You know, that's what we are supposed to be focusing our energies on, not anything else that just brings tensions. So skills can be pushed to all these African countries. We can make them beautiful. Equally, as we're working towards, if not similar goals. You know, we don't have to work towards one goal. Africa unity, Africa rising, it doesn't mean that we all go to South Africa or we all go to Zimbabwe, we all go to Malawi, for example. No. We strengthen those countries, then Africa rise together. Then when we visit each other, when we share resources, then everybody is happy. So we must never, ever, ever lack a vision to be better. We must never sit there and just expect. Because really, as I say, the offspring, man, it's alright. No need for migration. If we can develop the land, ideas, visions, and present a good, you know, we can present a good present for a generation of ethics, knowledge, new ways of thinking, education. Education is not always in the class, because a lot of people went to the class. A lot of people graduate, but they don't have a job. So you see, it takes more to create a job. So I don't know why people are demanding or even crying for a job. It's difficult to create a job. You know, you must understand that when you create a job, you don't sleep. Everybody goes to sleep, you sleep last. Everybody gets paid first, you get paid last. You know, everything is just you on you on you. The pressure to make a success of a project, of a solution, of a company, these are levels that a lot of people will never understand. So demanding alone is just like, okay. So we can better the education, skills of all kinds, you name it. Research, facilities of all kinds, energy sectors, food security, security sectors, technologies, humanities sectors. You know, love is important to understand that you can't go to the top if you're bleeding. You can't go to the top if you're hurting people to get there. You're gonna fall not in a very good way. African hubs of networking. If we go in different parts of Africa, we should see hubs where we can be motivated, we can spread innovation, we can create and be in a way that is so ethical that our people just keep on rising.